Hi, it's Larry. Talking about Purdue sports, I'm focused on the men's basketball team. Last night they played Michigan State. They won a nice game by 6 points. They took their 26th Big Ten championship. What else can I tell you about this that you probably don't already know? Uh, they won 80 to 74. They've kind of kept Michigan State at arm's length the last 4 or 5 minutes, but it was entertaining. It did keep you watching. Michigan State brought their best game after two losses at home. They needed to. They've lost three now. They've got two to go, and they've moved from a solid tournament team into maybe they're starting to look at the bubble or even being out. So they've got to do something their next two games. As for Purdue, they don't got to do much. They play Illinois Tuesday night. Illinois will be waiting for them, but they're two games back with two to go. Illinois has got two very good guards right now. The Terrence Shannon suspension early in the year helped him to develop another player, and so they have, and this has made them more dangerous and a better team. They still don't have the big man to deal with Edie, so on that level, it'll be a competitive game. It'll be Illinois' senior night. Uh, so Purdue will have its hands full winning that game. That aside, uh, I am working on looking at every Big Ten team before the Big Ten tournament and breaking that down for you. Last night went fairly well uh, for the teams that were expected to do well. Forgive me, I've just done my my jog and I haven't recovered from it yet. So that aside, let's take a look at last night's Big Ten scoreboard outside Michigan Purdue. Illinois beat Wisconsin at Wisconsin. Wisconsin's problem being that they didn't play any defense. They have good players. They've got a good coach. I'm not on board of it. Something needs to be done about him. They just don't have a star player. They've got good role players, but none of their players have stepped forward and become the go-to star that will carry you. Penn State is playing well, but they lost at Minnesota, a team that I've quite frankly have some admiration for. They are an improved team. And then we have Iowa beating Northwestern 87 to 80. And you will say this about Iowa, they can put points on the board. They can't stop anybody, but they can put points on the board. And they're making a play from the bubble trying to get into the NCAA tournament. They might make it. I don't think they'll go anywhere in the tournament, but they might make it. Now we look at today's games, Sunday, and we have two of the most disappointing teams in the league playing on national television at 2 o'clock. IU at Maryland. What have I got to say? A lot more was expected from Maryland, and IU has fallen on hard times. I'll say more about that in depth, but I expect Maryland to win. I think IU is trending down. At 4 o'clock on CBS, we've got Michigan at Ohio State. Well, the wheels have come off Michigan altogether. Ohio State isn't much better. No, when CBS booked these two games earlier start of the season, they thought they were going to have a showcase, a Sunday afternoon showcase. They was robbed. Uh, I pick well, got to pick Ohio State to beat Michigan. Who's Michigan going to beat? I think Michigan will struggle in the MAC now. And finally, we have Rutgers at Nebraska. Now, I personally call Nebraska the great imposter, but they're playing at home. And between the crowd, their own enthusiasm, familiarity with the gym, and the tendency of the refs to support them, they'll beat Rutgers. So all that aside, like I said, this is a quick video. I'll be doing another probably tomorrow, focusing specifically on Purdue, Illinois, player by player, and then later in the week about the Big Ten tournament. But we'll know more later in the week, Wednesday or Thursday, because we'll only have one game left, and a lot of things will be cleared up. So you have a good afternoon. Where I'm at, the sun's out. It's going to be a beautiful day. I think rather than watch crappy basketball, I'll go. I'll go out and have a walk. I would like to mention one thing before I go and give a shout out to a YouTube channel that's really valuable, and it's called the Draft Matic. Two words. The Draftmatic being Draftmatic. And what this fellow does is he takes all the big games, and I mean 10 or 12 or 13 of them, cuts out the commercials, and he cuts a 2.5 hour TV viewing down to an hour or an hour and 15 minutes, and you can watch the game. And if you've missed it or you want to have a second look at it, this is the way to do it. So consider watching that. And if you do, subscribe to his channel and give him a thumbs up. He's got that coming. He's doing a lot of work. I have, and I use his channels. I go back and look at upcoming teams that Purdue's going to play, and I look at how they played the last couple of games, and it gives me some insight. So this is a real good resource. And with that, I'll say, have a nice afternoon.